Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Malik Show Live. I am your host, Malik Shabazz Sullivan. I am so glad to have you back with us once again, and it feels so good to be back on the Malik Show Live on tonight. Well, happy June. Since the last time I was here, I was 30 years young, and I'm happy to say that I'm 31 years young, so I'm glad to see another year of life, June 3rd. And like I say, so much interesting things been going on within this past month. June is such a special month for me. Not only that it's my birthday month and it's the start of the summertime and all that great stuff, but in the world today, we all celebrate, I will say, us happy people, we celebrate one of the best, I say, occasions in the world, which is Pride. So happy Pride Month to everyone that is watching and that will be watching. I have my special guest, my friend and my brother. I love my brother very much. We've came a long ways, but I'm glad that he is back with me on tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and the only King Jives himself. Oh yeah, that's my brother. Go ahead and shout out, give some love to the people.
Hey y'all, what's going on?
Yes, I love my brother so much. And I think the last time we were together, we did the AIM show, I think, and I don't even know. That was before COVID came and all that kind of stuff. But
2019.
Yeah, 2019. So that was, 2 or 3 years ago. But I am so glad that he is back tonight with us. So again, happy June, happy Pride, happy so on and so forth. Let's get the show started. However, I want to put this out there while people are watching and so on and so forth. Now, let me just say this before we get started. The Malik Show Live is an open public show as far as, listen, we're like Jerry Springer, we're like Wendy Williams, we're like whomever. People do say because I'm a Christian, and yes, I'm a Christian, you believe to have certain things. No, the Malik Show Live is open to anything and everyone. So we don't discriminate, we don't judge. I made that very clear when the show started. I have lost a few people which they can't get with my program, so it's fine. I still have to collect a check after the performance is done. But moving right along, I was given a topic that needs to be discussed, and I feel I'm going to be that someone to speak out about it if nobody else does. I'm sure people has talked about it on their personal platforms, but on tonight, the Malik Show Live is going to talk about it. I'm glad I got my friend and my brother to help me along with it on tonight. As you all know, June is a month where it's set aside for Pride, and that is, I'm just going to be blank. I'm not going to cut around any corners. The gays, the lesbians, the transgenders, the so on and so forth. They celebrate, they come together, they have special events, they, have rallies and all that kind of stuff. However, there is a topic that a few individuals had brought this to me. They see that I'm a churchgoer and I am pretty much born and raised in one of the biggest Pentecostal organizations in the world, but they said, you, Malik Shabazz Sullivan, I feel you're the right person for it. We have to talk about the Black church and Pride, which it seems to be an issue today, as in, hold on, let's bring King Jives on, producer. Let's have him on side to side. So we got videos on tonight. We're going to get through tonight. We're going to talk on tonight, but let's just say this. We have a issue today, and I feel it's one of the biggest issues that people they're not going to speak so much about, but tonight we're going to speak about. I'm going to say a few things. I'm going to say just one little part, and then Damara going to come in and kind of chime in. I have a little something that I'm going to read, and you all can agree or disagree. One of the things I jotted down is cuz with the non-Christians and the disapproval of the celebration of homosexual desires or acts. The reason is the truly Christian disapproval of sin is rooted in, sustained, and aim spectacular realities for which non-Christians have no taste. Distinctively Christian disapproval of sin is rooted in the sin-covering blood of Jesus Christ. It is sustained by the supernatural transformation work of the Holy Spirit, and it aims to the glory of God in Christ Jesus, exalting joy as many transformed sinners as possible to the experience and distinctively Christian disapproval of sin in the miracle from God. I'm gonna stop right there. Demario, let me just say this from your point of view, and then I'll put my point of view. My first thing I want to ask you on tonight is, what do you think of the black church when you hear it, the black church and pride? What comes to your mind when you think?
Black church and pride. Let me see. Pretty much they go, to me, they're very similar. You got a bunch of people that gather together to just enjoy the festivities, to see one another. To me, that's what church is, a gathering together and seeing one another. Pride, if you think about the events that happen during Pride, like the celebrations and the parades and all of those things like that, I mean, it's what we do at church already anyways. Mm-hmm. You have a more open dynamic of people, same gender loving people, you have heterosexual people, whatever your sexuality, but it really is not that. It's just a collective of people. It's no different from how we celebrate, and I know some people may disagree, but it's no different from how we celebrate Black History Month. Mm-hmm. You know, we were denied for so long of celebrating our culture. It's just like Hispanic Month or Asian Month or whatever. You know, you were denied of your celebration for so long, or even just collectively celebrating one another of just who you are and being happy in who you are. Mm-hmm. But people say that pride is a celebration of sin. Mm-hmm. Well, me personally, and I've said this on my platform many times, I don't believe it. Mm-hmm. That's just me. I don't believe it. I don't believe it's a sin. I don't care. I mean, people can say, quote, what the Bible scripture says all day long, but I don't believe it. I don't. Right. I think that we could go down through there and debate who wrote what and why they wrote it and everything. I just don't believe it. I don't believe that God would create something and then, damn it or whatever. I don't believe that. Right. I don't. I even, I'm a preacher. The Bible even says, for God so loved the world that whomsoever love, believe on His Son shall not perish but have everlasting life. Right. The Bible even said over in Genesis that He said, let us make man in our image and after our likeness. Okay, then that says something right there too. If God made me, if God created me, right, the problem should be with God, not me. Right. So,
well, you know what? I'm going to just pause right there. We have some video clips that I'm going to share on the show tonight of different preachers that sort of, I guess, supports pride and that's against pride. We're going to producer, you turn the camera to me. There's a clip that I saw today that kind of grasped my attention, ladies and gentlemen. And again, no disrespect to anyone, but again, I was watching just some different things on today and going back to Jives. We're going to continue this, but there's just one clip that I want to talk about. And we're going to talk about this. Me and Jives are going to talk about this right after the clip has been shown at this time. Producing.
How should the Black church and LGBT community I think it's going to be diverse from church
Oh,
to
I love
church.
that
Every
clip.
church has a different opinion on the issue, and every gay person is different. And I think that to speak the church, the black church or white church or any kind of church you want to call it, are all the same is totally not true. And all gay people are not the same. The types of relationships that are afforded are based on the types of people in each individual case. Yeah. And LGBTs of types and sorts have to find a household of worship that reflects what your views are and what you believe like anybody else. And the church should have the right to have its own convictions and values. If you don't like those convictions and values, you totally disagree with it, don't try to change my house, move into your own and establish that sort of thing and find somebody who gets what you get about faith. And trust me, I've talked to enough LGBT, they are not all the same.
Oh, for sure. Any more than all Christians
no,
are the same.
No.
But how do we, first of all, has your thinking evolved on this?
Evolved and evolving. Evolved and evolving.
Where were you and where are you?
I think that where I am is to better understand, the church bought into the myth that this was a Christian nation. And once you get past that, which a lot of people are going to criticize me because they're still going to think it's a Christian nation, which is a whole different show. But once you begin to understand that democracy and that a republic actually is designed to be an overarching system to protect our unique nuances, then we no longer...
Okay, producer, you can take it back to me and yes, take it back to me, producer. Okay, so going back to Jazz, we're going, yeah, we know we double tasking. Okay, you can, producer, you can go back to, okay, great. That was Bishop T.D. Jakes, and he kind of made some sense there. Now, what got me was, for one, I feel as though that all churches are not, okay, I feel some churches will accept you and then some churches that won't accept you. And like Bishop T.D. Jakes said in that video, you know, you go where it works for you. And, you know, I definitely respect him on that. Now, I will say it is democracy because, again, you do have the black church. I'm going to just say this, and we're going to go on. We're 16 minutes in our first show, but trust me, we have another episode right after this. My thing is this, for the black church to be against such, you know, and I'm just going to be out and say it, such pride, but yet we secretly do it behind the scenes. And what I mean by that is, you know, in the black church, you have pastors, you have bishops, you have elders that, and I'm just going to be frank and just openly say it. I feel very strong and I feel very disrespected for you to be a man of God. And I don't care, and you serve in the highest capacity of the church, but yet you secretly do things with these, I'm going to say, these guys. And I just feel that, you know, just be honest with yourself. Don't sit here and hide behind the cloth or hide behind the desk, the sacred desk. But my next thing I want to ask Demario is, what do you have to say as far as continuing pride versus the black church when you have the men of God that preaches the word, that so-called has a wife and a family and all that kind of stuff, but yet when they get on their phones, when they get on these apps, or when they get in these secret closets, they're on the down low. They're doing the same thing that, you know, the open is doing publicly and have no shame in. Demario, what do you have to say on that note?
Honestly, I feel like this. When I lived up north, I actually had a conversation with a pastor friend of mine, and he had told me, he said, Mario, he said, honestly, he said, even though I know that this is not okay, when I say not okay, I'm saying, you know, as far as telling somebody that they're going to go to hell, or, you know, saying, you know, preaching this type of stuff. He said, but this is what we're required to preach. And, you know, people go on and they do whatever they want to do behind the scenes and with their, you know, friends or their companion or whatever. And they do these things, and then it's like, you know, when you see them in the pulpit, then it's like they just take every opportunity that they can to just beat up on the LGBTQ community.
Mm-hmm.
And it is very much so disheartening, because it's like, how do you love in secret and hate openly?
Mm.
And then you preach out of that same Bible,
Mm-hmm.
you preach damnation to somebody,
Mm-hmm.
and you want to send somebody to hell, but then at the same time, you go back to what you love. Now, people love to say, well, Mario, it's a spirit. Well, I don't know the last time that I floated, but
I'll pause right there. I want to just make a comment on that. I'm gonna just say this. Malik Shabazz Sullivan would say this. I feel that people should be who they are. Everybody, I believe, don't. I mean, my thing is, I feel is a lot of situations when it comes to gay and lesbians and all that. Because again, you have some people that say I was born this way. We have some people that say, look, I have been molested or I've been touched at a young age. You got some. Now, I will say for me, I was definitely raised by women such as my mother and both grandmothers. My father was, and I said this even in my documentary last year, and I thank you for all that supported that documentary. Jives was one of the, panelists for that, but I definitely have said I was definitely raised, I was born and raised Kojic. We're going to talk about that on part 2, but I was raised in the Church of God in Christ, and again, at one point in my life, I definitely was very flashy and stuff at one time, had my own look and style, still do now. But I just felt, and a friend of mine told me this week, that you got to have that look to get in where you fit in. And I want to shout my stylist out, but he told me that, he definitely is currently living his life openly. He was Kojic. Well, he joined. But the thing about it is, like, you have to be what they want you to be, as far as the Steve Harvey suits, the low cut, the walk, the step, the shout, and all that kind of stuff. But I guess as you started branching into a style and to a panel of your own, they'll look at you differently. They'll take you off the board or whatever. They'll sit you down and stuff, which I really feel is discriminating. But my thing is, the whole point I'm trying to make is, I feel as though, going back to what I stated earlier, I feel that if you are with your wife or girlfriend or whatever, stay with her. I really hate, I'm gonna put this out there, I really gets disgusted with these women. And a certain individual in Orlando, Florida made a statement last month stating, stop being a cover girl, ladies. You know that man is gay. But yet, I just feel you get with him, I guess, because he's a pastor. And like I say, pastors, bishops, and stuff, you want the title, you want the prestige, you want the Chanel bag, you want the Louis Vuitton, you want the red bottoms and stuff. But yet, you're still going through hell and misery, because he's going. My thing is that he's going to do what he wants to do. During church, when church is over, when you go back home, you're still in that pain and in that suffering. Why put yourself through all of that, and for what? And going back to the men, just be yourself and just be respectful and open. I have made a vow to myself that I will not get with anyone and put them through shame and hell, and knowing that this is not what I want to be. And be yourself. I feel if you be yourself, you can have more peace, you can be more at happiness with yourself, and so on and so forth. That's just my opinion, but Damari, what you think? I mean, it's two sides to every story.
Well, I do agree with you. I feel like at some point, whatever spectrum that you're on, you need to learn how to love yourself regardless. I look at people that, go to school to be mechanics, doctors, lawyers, whatever, and then their parent may want them to be something else, and they may be displeased in those things. Well, at the end of the day, you have to do what you love. And if being a doctor is something that you love, then you do that, and you have a passion, and be the best doctor that you could possibly be. If it is that you just happen to be a same gender loving person, be that person and be the very best and be authentic as much as possible. I know for me, I'm same gender loving, and people don't believe it, but I'm like, I don't live my life on my shoulders. I don't walk around and, I'm not the overly flamboyant person or anything like that. Yeah. So, I mean, either way it go, it's just very different. But everybody needs to be able to live their life and live it and be happy about it.
Right. Well, here's another piece. We're 8 minutes into our first half, and like I said, we're going to go straight on to part two because trust me, there is more. There's another piece of information I want to read, and again, we're going to get some clap back on that. It says that here, fairly or not, African Americans have become the public face of the resistance to same-sex marriage, owing to their religious beliefs and the outspoken opposition of many black pastors. Yet the presence of gays and lesbians in the black churches is common, and the fact that they often hold leadership positions in their congregations is the worst kept secret in black America. While many black pastors condemn gays and lesbians from the pulpit, their choir lofts, their ushers, their trustees, their praise and worship leaders, and so on and so forth, their musicians, their singers, have become a behind the scene loft and entangled in scandals involving affairs and so on and so forth. Now, by me reading just that, I'm gonna put my 2 cents and I'm gonna let DeMario put his 2 cents. I am going to say this part. We have a problem with, I guess, in the church. We will use each other. And what I mean by it is, for me, besides the Malik Show Live, I do this. I am a full-time fashion designer, make church hats, all that kind of stuff. Y'all know what I do. But anyway, I just feel for that, y'all will take it and run with it, as in, my thing is this, and get what I'm saying. You will use my gift, and someone I think brought this to my attention. They will use your gift, but will hide you secretly, like they won't. I don't know do you get what I'm saying, DeMario? Like they will use your talents and stuff in public, but they won't. I'm trying to make sense about it, but y'all get what I'm saying. But my next question in this 6 minutes is, DeMario, what do you have to say about, I guess, African American black males and females too, that are same gender loving, that are in these lifestyles, and that is in the black church? What do you have to say about them being in the full front for the people to see, but yet have to still face backlash and stuff behind the scenes?
Well, I feel like this because I've lived that life, not necessarily in a shadow, because when I came out, I was on my own, making decisions for myself. I was never kicked out of no one's church or anything of that nature, regardless of what people may try to say. People will do their best to use your gifts and talents.
Yes, they will.
And then, when they feel like you're either becoming a burden or their shame, they will either ostracize you, talk about you, throw you to the side, or, castigate you or whatever. But then at that point, for me, I feel as though an individual needs to have found their footing a long time ago before this, because again, when you get to that point and that place in your life where you see this going on, you have to be prepared for the worst.
You have to be prepared for the worst.
And the reason why I say that is because a lot of times with these, in the black church, these preachers and female pastors and laity, whatever, they will, in church and around the settings, they will sit there and they'll go in on the gays. They'll go in on the gays.
Right.
But in private or in, wherever you
Behind the scenes and that, and and
yes, honey, yes, girl,
I'll
yes.
listen. Pause for a
Using
second.
all the lingo and everything.
All the FaceTime calls at night.
Yes. So it's like you have to understand, like, I'm so much more than just your run of the mill, like just something just to pass time. Like I'm an actual human being. Like, and I hate to say it like this, but it's like scratch the Bible. Because outside of the Bible, like, I'm a regular person. I am a human being just like you. You want to say God made you? Well, God made me too.
That's right.
And it's like, you want to talk about, who has the gifts and things of the Spirit, baby. I'm very much so anointed. And I sure can preach. I'm like Valerie Daniels. I sing, I preach, I shout,
Listen.
And I'm like, at the end of the day, like, what my sexuality does not determine, what God can and will do in my life and through me.
And you know what I think?
And
I think that is a problem. I just feel that the church, the black church, labels us as far as, oh, you in that? Oh, we can't work with you. We can't deal with you. But
Malik, I had somebody to tell me that. They told me, they said, because I came out, that I couldn't serve in the capacity that I was serving in the church, in the national church. And it at that particular moment, it was disheartening, because I was like, well, excuse me for what I'm about to say, but I'm like, you don't see the rest of these punks sitting up here on the front? Like, you don't want me to do tour work, but you got, that's what I did too. And I'm just like, seriously? But what was said to me was, in so many words, they didn't do what you did. They didn't come out. They didn't give voice.
Well, that's my problem is this. They don't have to come out, or they don't have to make it known, but they're still doing it behind the scenes. That's what makes me upset.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to walk this straight and narrow path, do it. And that is just, and I'm going to say this, we have a convention coming up next week. I'm not going to call the name of that. And I'm just be very honest. Everybody that knows conventions is we're in 1 minute to, okay, I'm gonna have to save this for part 2. Let me try and squeeze this in. If you know, in the black church, we love a good fellowship and a good performance, and I say a good performance with a praise break and all that kind of stuff, but we also like some good sex. And I'm gonna just be honest, one thing about it, we like to hook up, we like to connect with each other, and child, please,
That's not advertised.
I'm just saying. It happens, these conventions and special meetings and stuff. Child, don't come up in there dressed all the way up, or just you looking all glamorous such as ourselves, because it's going to be a hit on and an inbox and some more. So I'm just saying, my point of the matter is this, for all the DLs and stuff, my thing is this. If you are going to be yourself, your true, authentic self, then do it. But stop doing it on the DL, because my thing is this. You're not making it hard on us. You're making it hard on yourself, because, I know it's 50 seconds, 49 seconds. Okay. Again, this is part 2, y'all, so y'all stay with this, but, it's something. It's really something. But okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is part 1 wrapping up for the Malik Show Live with King Jives himself. But stay with us, Facebook Live Land, and part 2 on the Malik Show Live. We have more to talk about with the Black Church versus Pride. Part 2 will have some more interesting talks with King Jives himself. And also, we have some more bashing stories of the Pride versus the Black Church. And hopefully by the end of the show tonight, maybe there could be a solution to all of this. This is yours truly, Malik Shabazz Sullivan. Be true, be you. God bless you.